the backup center spot has come down to Marvin Bagley III and James Wiseman. It seems like someone kind of took a lead, though. Pistons fans are split on who should take that role. Marvin Bagley III is the better offensive player. I mean, he's gifted on that side of the ball. James Wiseman is the better athlete with ideal length to protect the rim, but he's still inexperienced. He's only played 84 regular season games, but neither are great rebounders unless they're motivated. So it's still up in the air, and I believe you actually have a clip for us to play, right, Anthony?
Yeah, this is from Amari Sankofa because he had asked Monty this week about the backup center position. So here it is.
It's still early in camp, but when you look at this big man rotation, how do you see Wiseman and Marvin kind of fitting in, and what have you seen from them in camp so far?
Yeah, it's a work in progress right now to figure out which one of those guys is going to step up and be more than likely the backup big. And that's a tough spot because both guys, I wouldn't say deserve it, but they have the talent. Bags has a body of work. Wise is still young and learning. They both have enough ability to command that spot. We're just going to wait to see who steps up and takes it.
It's pretty interesting.
I love the honesty from him, though. I love the honesty from head coach Monty Williams, man. That was great.
Yeah, like he's basically saying, like, I haven't decided who's getting that backup center spot, but if you show me that you want it, then it's yours. Like, he's not setting a roster in stone. I think that's what I liked about that video. But like you said, after today's performance from Marvin Bagley, he's definitely a little bit he's ahead of James Wiseman right now for the backup center spot, in my opinion.
Do you think Marvin Bagley takes it after preseason?
I don't know. Like today, he looked like just a man possessed. Like he was scoring like a point a minute. I think he had like 25 points in like 22 or 23 minutes. Wiseman out there, he just kind of seemed a little bit overwhelmed at times. But I'm willing to hold my opinion until after preseason is over, because Wiseman could come out the next three preseason games and just make me look stupid. You know, you never know. Like he could get in the film room and see what he needs to work on. But I think Bagley is more of a seasoned vet, and he knows what his strengths and weaknesses are, and he just exploited them today.
See, I think James Wiseman ends up coming away with it after preseason. And I know it's going to sound crazy after Marvin Bagley had the performance he had. But James Wiseman, he still had 7 rebounds in 16 minutes. He was still active on the glass, which is something that a few of us, you and I, have talked about, where it doesn't seem like he's always motivated to get rebounds. I just think with that length and that athleticism, it could be used so much more, especially as he gains experience, versus Marvin Bagley's offensive touch. Because I still think James Wiseman, he's still a good offensive player. Like, he's not too far behind Marvin Bagley. Marvin Bagley's just more redefined on the block, and he's more confident on that side. But James Wiseman, again, has all the athletic tools. He has that length. He can, when he wants to jump, he can just jump straight up out of the rim. He can be a lob threat for Cade, Ivy, Asar, Monte Morris. I think James Wiseman ultimately takes it, because there's also one other point that I want to make. Marvin Bagley did say he didn't want to be a center. He wanted to be a power forward. So even though he's motivated right now to play the 5, I don't know how much longer he wants to keep up with it, because he was pretty much going up against Devin Eubanks, who is a physical center. But how does he feel when he's going up against Joel Embiid or, Rudy Gobert or Nikola Jokic or Zach Collins, I can't believe I just said Zach Collins, or Anthony Davis, or Jakob Poeltl in Toronto, or Jonas Valanciunas? These guys are all very physical players. How does Marvin Bagley stack up against those guys during the regular season. Because again, he's already expressed he doesn't want to play the 5 spot. He would rather play the power forward, but this team doesn't need him to play the power forward. The Pistons need him. They need a backup 5. So that's why I think James Wiseman ultimately takes it away, just for all those other factors that I said, but also just because Marvin Bagley says, I don't want to be a 5. And I don't think he'd be petty about it. I just don't know if he'd always going to be motivated to play the 5 spot.
Well, it's funny because we talked about that, I believe, in April. He said, I want to play power forward. And he said, I'm going to focus a lot on shooting this offseason.
Yeah.
And his tune completely changed during media day because someone did ask him about that. Like, hey, do you still want to play? And he's just like, oh, I'll play wherever they want to play me. So obviously they gave him a talking to saying like, hey, like power forward is kind of, filled up over here, but we need you as a backup center on this basketball team. And I think, to your point, he's good enough to go against backup centers and get his points. And I think the only two things that people really knock on him is health, because it seems like he just has these freak injuries that are out of his control. And I think on the defensive end, it's something where I know he's not a lockdown defender. I don't need him to be a lockdown defender. I'm not asking him to block, 3-4 shots a game. I'm just asking him to, be serviceable. Like, I don't need you, blocking down people. What if you do? That's great. But if you can just be a serviceable defender, I think most Pistons fans are happy with that. And if he can do that, I think the backup spot is his. I think Wiseman is just too inexperienced right now. He just hasn't had the reps because of injuries as well, but it's not his fault. But I do think Monty says, like, hey, like, whoever takes it. It's up for grabs. It's just up to you guys to, battle it out these next 3 preseason games and in training camp. So we're going to have to wait and see who does get that spot. But I would say as of today, October 8th, Marvin Bagley definitely has the edge, in my personal opinion, after tonight's preseason game against the Suns.
Do you think there's any chance where they make a move to bring in a backup center, like more of a veteran? Because I know Monty loves veterans.
Yeah.
And I mean, Marvin Bagley, you could call him a veteran because he has been in the league for a while now, but he's still only 24 years old. But a guy that has been in the league a little bit longer, can be a little bit more physical, knows what that role is and is comfortable in that role. Maybe the Pistons go that direction, because he really, in that clip that you played, it didn't seem like he was too excited about the backup 5 spot. He just kind of seemed like that. Unfortunately, this is what we have, and this is what we have to work with. So that's why it's up for grabs, and whoever just shows out, they're going to get it. But maybe there's something in Troy Weaver's back pocket where he's like, I'm going to go out and get him a backup 5, someone that we can rely on. That's going to help us that's going to help us push us over the top and become a winning team.
So I just looked up available free agent centers, and one that's available, because this is on Spot Track right now, and he played with the Suns, is Bismack Biyombo.
Ooh, okay.
He's more known for his defense. He's not going to score a whole lot of points. I don't know if the Pistons are going to use their last roster spot of trying to clear cap to sign a veteran center. If they did, that would kind of tell me that they're looking to win. He was a name on the list. I don't know if that's a player that they might go after. I think Blake Griffin's going to retire. I think Blake Griffin will never play in a Pistons uniform again, but wouldn't that be something?
That would be crazy.
Yeah. And then one more name that I saw was Willie Cauley-Stein, but I think I saw that he signed overseas to go play. He's another guy that, protect the rim, catch lobs. I don't really know what they're going to do with the backup center position, but, Troy Weaver kind of teased that, like, hey, we do have an open roster spot open, and we're keeping our options available. So I don't know what position he's looking for personally. If it was me, I would look more for more small forward depth, but that's just me. But now you got me thinking maybe they do go after a veteran center. Maybe they try to trade for one that's just, on a team right now that can't get any minutes. Maybe a Nerlens Noel reunion.
I mean, I wouldn't be disappointed in Bismack Biyombo. I mean, I still have faith in Marvin Bagley and James Wiseman, but he's a guy that can give you a good 12 to 15 minutes, good defense, knows how to protect the rim. Again, knows his roles, not going to complain about not getting touches or anything. Not saying James Wiseman or Marvin Bagley would, but they're more offensive players than defensive. And I think this team, they need a veteran big that can help them out in that spot. But hey, we'll see.